So last week on the podcast, we talked about travel, and we named that episode Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in a nod to the great Steve Martin John Candy film. But some of our sharp-eared listeners noticed we talked mainly about planes and automobiles, but didn't spend too much time on trains or public transportation in general. So Mike, do we have much data on COVID-19 transmission on trains and public transportation?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the listeners who were listening at that point in the podcast with the sharp ears they had, because you're right. Planes, trains, and automobiles didn't necessarily adequately reflect the discussion. The train issue comes up as well as public transportation, i.e. subways and so forth, for which we actually don't have very much information at all. We talked in the podcast last week about the issue of airplanes and the air circulatory systems and what that all meant. Obviously, your automobile is pretty clear-cut in terms of what we mean by air inside that vehicle. So it is an issue right now of understanding what the transmission implications are on trains. We know in many subways there is substantial air movement, both inside the cars and clearly in the tunnels as you're going through. But how much, we don't know. We're looking into that more. This is a concern for large cities where subway ridership in particular is very, very high. Several Asian countries are looking at this issue now, and as we get more information on it, we'll let you know. But I think that, subways could play an important role in transmission. It surely has not been documented yet, and we're going to need to better understand that before we can say, avoid subways, or definitely don't worry about them.